All right, so I'm 6 weeks out of inguinal hernia surgery, open style. Um, Making this video because I watched a billion videos before I decided to do it. Well, mostly after the surgery is when I watched videos. So, wanted to give my story, my feedback, my current status, just for others about to go through it or amidst it or whatever. So had a bulge, lower abdomen, above my junk, bottom of the stomach. Didn't know what it was. Turns out it was a hernia. And so began my story where I went into the doctor, the surgeon, and he looked at it, knew immediately what it was, and said to get surgery. And it's basically up to you when you want to do it. Do it while you're young. Um, Pain tolerance, all that sort of thing. So I just decided to do it. So I met the dude for 4 minutes, and that was it. Then I scheduled the surgery and didn't see him again until then. I had to call 5 or 6 times just to get him on the phone before the surgery because, there's options, the laparoscopic or the open, right? So that begins my uh, annoyance with the entire situation, with doctors and the lack of information they give you. They don't tell you much aside of the canned bullshit, and give you some pamphlet that goes over the standard things to expect or that you'll be going through. So if you have any specific questions, you will need to ask them to get answers. They're not just going to come to you. So this was my first ever surgery, and perhaps I should have known this, but I didn't. In regards to the open cut type surgery, that there's going to be nerve issues, or even if it's temporary, fine, numbness and general skin sensitivity in the entire area, which is what I've been dealing with mostly in my recovery, is that stuff. So annoyed that that wasn't mentioned in the pamphlet, in comments. I talked to him a couple times before the surgery, and never once was that mentioned. I don't know why it wouldn't be mentioned if it's going to be the bulk of my issues recovering from it. So I would ask all those questions if you're considering doing this. Laparoscopic, open, which one is better and why, pros and cons of each, risks of each. It should be clearly communicated. And if it's not, ask questions. I wish I would have asked more, and I did a lot of research and looking into it, and I still am dissatisfied. In general, I mean, I think I'm going to be fine, but I'm just annoyed that I wasn't told certain things and I wasn't able to expect them. So, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes. I was trying to. So yeah, so the bulk of my recovery has been skin sensitivity and numbness, whatever. But like I can't even wear normal pants without being uncomfortable still. I'm 6 weeks in. That pretty much popped up a week and a half in, and it was brutal the first couple weeks, and has slowly gotten better. And I'm anticipating that it's going to get all the way better, but there's always the risk that it doesn't. I'm fine with numbness on the incision. That's not a big deal for me. I could care less about that as long as I could feel normal in general. So I just wanted to comment about, looking up videos after the surgery, what to expect recovery-wise. You see a lot of videos of doctors, I guess they're doctors, saying that you'll be back to normal in 3 to 4 days. You'll be back at work, and that's ridiculous and reckless and bullshit. You'll be out of commission for a minimum of 2 weeks. The first week or so, you're very, very tender. You walk around like you have a gunshot wound. At least I did. I don't know. In and out of bed is a pain. Typical things you would expect that would hurt with a core incision. But, there's a lot of doctors or just people in general that say you'll be back to X, Y, or Z in 3 or 4 days. No, you are out of commission for a minimum of 2 weeks, and I was out of commission for pretty much 3 weeks as far as, I didn't want to push it. So I took it really, really easy. So the first week, really, really tender. First couple days, obviously, I didn't have any problems with going to the bathroom. Obviously, anything, you try to and there's no reason not to take the pain pills, in my opinion. Why not? It's fun and it helps, so why not? But that didn't bind me up too much. I drank coffee in the morning and that was good. So I've noticed a bunch of people worried about that constipation, but I think if you just handle it the right way, maybe keep up your normal routine if you're on a schedule with the defecation, keep that rolling. Second week allowed for a little more movement. Obviously, just this whole process, you have to be patient, and I don't think I was ready for that part. Very patient, small incremental improvements each day, like 2% better each day, like really, really slow, really, really minor improvements, but over time they compile into something meaningful. So, second week I was moving around a little more, but the skin sensitivity came at that point where I don't know if the nerves were regenerating or regrowing, or that's the process of them coming back to life, because it was numb at first. The whole area was numb, and then it transitioned to severe skin sensitivity, to where pretty much the only way I was comfortable is if I was laid up butt naked. If I was around the house, I would wear loose-fitting shorts with no underwear. That helped, but anything that touched it, super sensitive, and that happened for a couple weeks. It's a major issue for me for 2 weeks. I have an office job. I couldn't go into. I could, but it was super uncomfortable. I had to pull my pants away from my waist area as I walked. Sitting down, super uncomfortable. In normal clothes, anything was uncomfortable. So yeah, major issue for 2 weeks, the skin sensitivity. They'll tell you this is normal, don't worry, yada yada. But going back to my original complaint, why wasn't this? If this is normal and I should expect it, and it's common and it's not an issue, why isn't it mentioned anywhere in your little pamphlet or your consultation with me prior? So agitated by that. Third week, movement becomes easier. Obviously, every very small improvements each day. You definitely need patience, but I going into this said a blanket no to all events and activities for 3 weeks. Like, I wasn't going to mess up this mesh inside me. I was going to let it meld with my body or whatever it needs to do it and pick up anything. Just, you got to be super patient and say no to everything and just let the thing heal and get right. And I don't know what I'm talking about, by the way. I'm just saying that was my goal. So movement back to normal after about a month. No real pains internally. Everything's skin sensitivity pain. But so much so that it feels like I'm not right still. You know what I mean? Like that's how much the skin was an issue. Internally, feel fine. I mean, you definitely still feel something, like when you lay down in bed a month in. It's not pain, but you can tell something's there. It's either on the mend or it's actually the foreign object in your body now. I don't know which one it is, but I would anticipate that goes away. Over time, you just feel normal. So 5th week, pretty much the same as week 4, where super sensitive skin, but slowly increasing activities, trying things. I tried to ride a bike, tried to throw some balls around. Both went okay, but I felt things, and it's like, why push it? Just stop doing it. So, as long as all of this goes away, skin sensitivity wise, that's all I care about in the long run. I don't care about short-term inconvenience, as long as in the long term it's fine. But I have about under the incision 5, maybe 4 inches of prickles and needles. It's not just right around the incision, it's the whole general area. I had my follow-up. He said that, of course, everybody says everything's normal, which, I hope they're right, but based on the way it went pre-surgery, I'm skeptical of everything this dude says and what other people say as well. So I still, if I lean all the way over to put my socks on, I feel the same thing I feel when I lay down flat. I feel something in there. But, today I went for a long bike ride for the first time with my son. That went okay. I was a little sore when I got back, but I've had no sharp pains, no major issues. The incision on the surface seems to be fine. All skin sensitivity, man. And that's why I'm motivated to post this, just so people can expect it, because that's been the biggest thing for me. Super numb early on, super sensitive from there on out. 6 weeks in, still there, allegedly going away. We'll see. So in general, just do a shit ton of research before you pull the trigger. Make sure you need to do it. Make sure you choose the right one. Make sure you badger your doctor for answers. They just process you like, nothing against them, but they do hundreds of thousands a year maybe, or tens of thousands of these surgeries a year. It's not a big deal to them, but for me or any other person going in for their first ever surgery, this is our body. One and only time you get a body, and if it gets jacked up, it's screwed for life. So I don't know. I would just push to ask, understand, know what to expect, and then just cross your finger and hope it pans out as it normally would. So that's it. Anybody else got questions, or anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer, because I was all over message boards and YouTube videos and stuff once I got out of this surgery, trying to understand, determine if things were normal. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, just to put someone at ease or just give them feedback before they go and do this. Get cut open and stuff, man. Not fun, obviously. My first go at it, and felt like the entire process was a little sloppy. So, all right.